Welcome back to the Closing Laps podcast. I'm Matt from Break Hard, joined by Cameron, former NASCAR crew member. How's it going this week, Cam?
Doing pretty good. How are you, sir?
No complaints. Told you right before we hopped on here that I saw the F1 movie today on Monday because we have the whole week off, and it was not as bad as I went into it wanting to hate it. I really did, and I ended up not hating it as much as I thought I would. I thought the racing scenes were great. The story, is fine. That
Yeah.
definitely took like a couple plays out of Driven for sure. If anybody's seen, I think most people have probably seen that atrocity at time or two. But overall, it wasn't that bad.
See, my local movie theater has a D box seats
Oh,
and
what?
like they're heptic seats,
Oh,
and I
that's
want to go
cool.
see it with those and like actually get to feel it and
I
all
like that
that
a
and
lot.
see the difference because I've heard it's phenomenal and I haven't got to go see a movie and I feel like this would be the perfect movie
Perfect
to go
one.
see it.
Yeah, better than Jurassic Park Rebirth or whatever that's called.
See,
I
I like Jurassic Park.
I
And
love Jurassic Park. But at
did
some
you go
points,
see it already?
no, it comes out
Oh
what
yeah, it hasn't come out
Friday?
yet. Yeah,
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or no, it's just the second Wednesday.
Wednesday.
I will see it though, even though I'm skeptical after the last Jurassic World. But it's fine. You put dinosaurs on the TV screen, I'm gonna watch it every single
Hey,
time.
I'm a huge Transformers guy.
Yeah.
There's huge news in the Transformers world this week with
What's that?
Michael Bay saying he's coming back to uh, direct the next one.
I didn't know that was happening.
Oh yeah, I'm like beyond ecstatic for that to happen, and there's people that are pushing to try to get Shia LaBeouf to come back and play, and
What's he up to these days? Nothing.
probably a lot of nothing, making millions just sitting around doing nothing.
All right. Well, now that we've done movie talk for the first 2 minutes, let's get into five to go here because we had an absolute banger of a race Saturday night in Atlanta. Chase Elliott wins his hometown race. And honestly, that was race of the year so far. You and I texted about that.
Not race of the year,
Race of the
race
next
of the
gen.
next gen. Like it was the best race that cars ever put on.
It was a phenomenal race. I think that 2022 Coke 600 was an incredibly good race. Like that ranks right up there with it for me. But you're right. In terms of a drafting track race, it was far and away the best one we've ever seen. Way
Yeah,
better than anything Daytona and Talladega have ever given us.
it's what Daytona and Talladega were when we grew up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's what that's probably why we're nostalgic about it, right? Like
Absolutely.
I grew up and that's what I loved. I'm from Atlanta. I was closer to Talladega than I was Atlanta Motor Speedway, right? Like
Right.
so I'm I used to go to Talladega almost every year and and it was always my birthday weekend. So I'd go to Talladega almost every single year and growing up watching that is what I loved was going to Daytona or Talladega and seeing those kinds of races. And now my home track technically
Yeah.
is what that used to be.
It's kind of crazy. And honestly, it's just because of the shape of the racetrack affects how this drafting package
Oh,
works here. And you're not stuck doing the fuel saving that you are with Daytona and Talladega. And everybody keeps being like, see, this is what the racing would be like at Daytona and Talladega if they went full throttle the entire time. Except it's not because we see what happens when they go full throttle at Daytona and Talladega. And it's how the Talladega race ended back in the spring where everyone's gridlocked.
yep.
This is different because they're having to work the throttle.
Oh,
And they're
100%.
yeah, they're not 100% throttle the entire lap, and
Yeah.
that helps out a ton. It creates runs, and you can make a difference by pushing the car in front of you a lot more than you can at Daytona and Talladega. And we saw that Chase Elliott wins the race. He was what P6 with like 4 laps to go,
Yeah.
and he
Yeah.
manages to get up there because of handling one, two, staying in the throttle, and three, getting pushes when he needed to get pushes.
Yeah.
So
It honestly reminded me a lot of 2001 Pepsi 400,
yeah,
right?
with
Like
Dale, yeah,
with Junior coming from what was like seventh or eighth.
six, yeah, because
Yeah,
that's the
sixth.
from sixth
And
to first, lessons
yeah,
learned from
yeah,
five. Yeah,
sixth to first with shades of his dad or
yeah,
whatever, right? Yeah, like it reminded me of that, and you were able, like you said, to make runs. You were able to push. You were able to pass.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the big thing.
And it was funny. So one of my best friends was over, and he's doesn't like NASCAR, and he's like, I don't want to watch this. They can't even pass. And then he got to watch, and he was like, oh,
Oh.
oh, they can actually like pass, and then the big one happened, and he wouldn't even whoa.
It wasn't the big one. That was the colossal one. That was an insane. We'll get to that in a second. So we start off the race, basically hoping it doesn't rain. Guess what? It sprinkled for a little bit, but it was fine. We survived it, got through it. Racing early on, when we still had a full field, was still just as chaotic as it was at the end of the race. Carson Hocevar drove from 30th to the top 10 in like
Like
5
the top
laps.
5.
Yeah, it was insane. And then he was putting people in the most precarious positions possible. Like when Denny talks about, Kyle Larson puts everybody in a bad position. Carson Hocevar put 40 guys in bad positions within 10 laps on Saturday. Tried to take Byron 3 wide, and Byron's like, listen, dude, just go wreck yourself and I'll
just go.
clean up. Yeah.
I love it.
It was.
Like you and I were talking on Saturday, and I said I got the 77, and your response was to wreck.
Yeah.
And I was like, fair, but I just love watching him and love seeing the way he does things, and he's pushing the issue.
Yeah. I think
right? Like, what's the problem with that?
He doesn't know what he doesn't know yet, for the most part. So to him, he's like, screw it, we'll do this. Where like a veteran guy, 7 years from now, Carson Hocevar is not going to be doing the same things that he did on Saturday night.
What if he does, though?
He's going to have a lot of wrecked race cars to get to that point, I have a feeling. But he could. He very much could. But, hey, he could just be the next Ricky Stenhouse, just throwing his car into any hole.
Don't call him Ricky Stenhouse, okay?
Ricky does have more wins. I will say
that. Yeah. Now.
For now, yeah. But yeah, the racing early on was hectic as all get out. But then closing laps of stage number 1, we had our first multi-car incident of the night. Christopher Bell spins out by himself.
Literally.
Larson never got to him. Larson spins out trying to avoid him. Larson survived that one.
Yeah.
And then
that one.
yeah. Bell ends up going down. He hit the 3 car. The 3 car clipped the 12, turned Blaney head on into the outside wall. His day was done, which took out a quarter of the Penske quartet there.
Yeah.
Which they were fast. Once again, we talked about this last week on the podcast. We said the top 10 in qualifying is going to be Fords, and the top 9 were. We almost got it. Yeah.
Yeah, it pretty much was all Fords.
Yeah, Bowman ruined that for us. But Penske went 1, 2, 3, 4, just like we expected.
Yep.
And they were set up to lead the race. And, well, they really never got a chance to see what their cars did in traffic because to start off, Austin Cindric wins stage number 1. Austin Cindric remains one of the best drafting track racers out there.
Which, honestly, I'm not even going to lie to you, I completely forgot he won stage 1.
Yes. Well, that's because literally lap 1 of stage number 2, the entire race changed from that point on.
Literally the entire race.
Denny Hamlin got a huge push down the backstretch. Unfortunately, there was nowhere for him to really go because that top line kind of stacked up. And then he got turned by, who was behind him? Maybe Todd at that point?
But no, I don't think it was Todd.
It wasn't Todd? It was a white car. It doesn't matter. He gets turned down across the racetrack, collects Noah Gragson, and then a 23 car pileup ensued beyond it. And it was the entire field, it felt like, for the most part. The list of cars not involved was shorter than the list of cars involved.
Yeah. There was they were trying to do their best Metro Atlanta impression. And they kind of succeeded. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Just wadded it all up. 75 at rush hour. Just
going on the connector, 75, 85 connector, going around the Grady curve during rush hour. That's pretty much what they did.
And they stuffed a bunch of really fast race cars into that. The remaining 3 Penske cars, Josh Berry included in that, gone. They were done. Byron looked super good. Gone. He was done after that one. Larson got a little bit of damage in that. Bubba Wallace was caught up in it. Like Denny Hamlin, obviously ruined out of it. A lot of really good race cars. Yeah.
Called it.
What, that they were all going to wreck?
No. that Danny was going to wreck and Ty Dillon was going to move on.
Oh yeah, you did call
Called
that.
it.
I knocked your favorite driver out. All-time line from Ty
Dude,
Gibbs.
that was
race.
awesome.
Mamba Smith calling him Tyrone made me laugh as well, which Ty Dillon might be the least looking Tyrone I've ever seen
Oh, 100%.
in my life. So that big crash happens. Literally, seemingly everybody's involved. And then I quickly realized and texted you at the same time that I think the broadcast even realized it. There was a single driver in the top 20 that had won a race this year. And that
There was two.
in the top 20. There are two left on track.
That's
but
right.
At the time, SVG was the only one in the top 20 where I was like, oh, so there's going to be a new winner tonight. Because Larson had too much damage to really be a contender. And I didn't have a ton of faith in SVG to win that race, but he did try to get up there and lead.
He tried.
A little bit. And
it
then
didn't work too well, but he tried.
But then he got dumped. So, yeah, from that point on, this became a race of desperation.
Oh, yeah.
And it was phenomenal.
It was a great, just genuinely good race, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think even if you take that out of the equation and you have all 40 cars on that track, which that's the first time we've had 40 cars on the track in a while.
Since Daytona,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not often we get that. If you do that whole race with 40 cars on the track, I think that race is even better than it is with them or without them on there. Excuse me.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Yeah, Eric Estep tweeted out that it felt like the All-Star Open, basically, because there's a bunch of guys out there that don't win. And now they're thrust right into the spotlight. Yeah. I kind of wish we did see a full 40-car kind of battle for majority of the race, because I think it could have been really fun, especially because there was a lot of fast cars that got taken out there. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, having all these guys out there that are like, hey, this is our ticket to the playoffs, seemingly, right in front of us. We need to go take it. And we had really fun racing up there and some interesting names. But before we get into kind of how stage 3 played out, the ending of stage number 2 might have been one of the most all-time finishes ever, and it's going to get forgotten about just because it was a stage 2 finish.
Yeah.
1/1000th of a second.
Yeah, like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, that was the stage 2 finish.
Yeah.
And my first thought was, okay, what are we going to get at the end of the race? Right? I mean, we didn't get it, but, like, it very well could have.
Very well could have.
If the 48 pushes him, right?
Yeah.
But he's not going to.
That was never going to happen.
Never. Never.
So Tyler Reddick beats Chase Elliott by 1/1000th of a second, which I think probably even went further down the line than 1/1000th of a second.
Yeah.
Because it was Reddick when NASCAR put up the still
picture.
shot of the high speed
My
camera.
first initial thing was that was Chase.
I thought it was Chase too, which is kind of the same thing that we had at Kansas with Buescher and Larson.
Yeah.
Where I think in the moment we all thought it was Buescher for the most part, but then one of the dogs is just talking over here in the corner. He wants to be involved. He agreed that it is a lot like that Kansas race.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it went back and forth, and even timing and scoring, first gave it to Reddick, then gave it to Chase, and then reverted and gave it back to Reddick again, which was the right call once they finally
100% was. But I thought it was hilarious that the picture that TNT put up there was literally, you saw the Reddick car, but it was paused, and like it was like doom 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 doom. And like, yeah, it was his car, but it wasn't his
like
car,
a blur,
right?
Yeah. So that was an all-time finish for stage number 2, and it's like, all right, what are we going to get now? Because Atlanta has been known to give us some good finishes,
great finishes, some of the best ones out there.
And then stage number 3 happens, and it was like the stage of just random sort of one-car incidents. Like nothing major really happened. No. You had Stenhouse and Eric Jones. They kind of took each other up to the wall. Jones took Stenhouse up to the wall.
Yeah.
And it looked like Stenhouse's day might be done from there because he thought it was broken, but he wasn't.
Yeah,
he just kind of shook it. Still managed to finish P6, which he was in contention. He was leading with 6 laps to go, finishes 6. Riley Herbst trying to carry the flag for 2311 Racing. Promptly wrecks from there.
I thought it was hilarious. You text me and go, watch Riley. We were texting you, go watch Riley win this, and I said, imagine him being the first winner. And literally, as soon as I sent that, he
Gone.
spins. I was like, well, never mind.
One thing on Riley, I really like that treetop 35 paint scheme. The
It was
green white
pretty.
with the red numbers, I think that works so well. The only thing I don't like on it is I'm not a huge fan when they do the wraps and they have the actual product like printed on the wrap. I would rather that be like an illustration versus the actual like photo of the product, but beggars can't be choosers. The front
Yeah.
3/4 of it is a great looking paint scheme.
Yeah, it was a great looking paint scheme. I mean, Treetop always comes with some good paint schemes. I
Yeah.
think when we ran it on the 91
Look at
Xfinity car,
sponsors glowing up. No offense
Yeah.
to DGM, but like the fact that they're now a cup sponsor that's cool. That's a good
I mean,
ROI.
heck, no offense to like DGM's got some great sponsors if you think
They
about
do.
it, right? Like
They do.
like Wawa, Treetop. They've
Rita's
got
Water Ice.
yeah,
Not the Bullocky sponsor, but still.
but still, like
Yeah.
they've got some great sponsors. Rita's is a great sponsor.
Yeah. Yeah, DGM does a lot with a little.
Yeah.
In terms of
Yeah,
the
100%.
realm of NASCAR. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, they do some good stuff.
Then we had Eric Jones. He spins out on lap 195. There's only a 260 lap race, and in 60 laps, he manages to get all the way back up to fifth and get a top
Yeah.
5 out of it. SUG spun out as well in this, which is unfortunate for him. He finishes 2 laps down. But then we had Brad Keselowski. It felt like it was his night. He was asserting himself once again. Looked like the old Brad, which was so nice to see because he had all the confidence
Yeah.
in the world. Like I don't know, maybe it's just because there wasn't a ton of other people out there, but he was back, and I was so happy to see it.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it before the race. I said, give me BK or KB, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like those are the two guys that you may not like them, but those are the two guys that I think we all want to come back and win races, right?
We almost got it.
We almost got it. I mean, heck, there was one point I thought that Kyle Busch was going to come back out there and do something, and that never happened, but we thought it, right?
I feel bad for Kyle. Like, realistically, he's got like one more racetrack in the regular season that he can legitimately win at, which is Daytona.
Watch him just pull something out of the hat.
Which Chicago this weekend.
Wins at Indy.
He has done it before 2 times, nearly three-peated if it wasn't for Martin Truex Jr.
Yeah.
Wait, was Truex? Yeah, Truex is the one that lost on the inside there and wiped him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
So Brad shows up. Tyler Reddick's in the mix. Got that Superman paint scheme on it. Still hasn't won a race this year. A guy we expect to win a race. So
Yeah.
he's up there. And then you have Alex Bowman shows back up, talking about how he still is only 85% after his Michigan wreck. Still has pain down his right leg. Can't sit for very long. Just absolutely
It's
sending
insane
it.
to think about, though.
I know. So I had heard the week after Michigan leading up into Mexico, I'd heard from some people over there that he was walking gingerly at best. And I was like, oh, like how could it be that bad? And they were like, no, it's that bad. So to see him tough through that, get to Mexico, and then, have a P3 finish tonight, it's great resilience from him. Zane Smith almost was in contention to win, nearly got it, but didn't.
You got a top
And then-
5?
Did he?
I think so.
No, he finished 7th.
Oh,
It
I
was-
thought he got a top 5.
Chase, Brad, Bowman, Reddick, Jones in the top 5.
Got it.
And that brings us down to the closing laps of this race. Stenhouse leads with 6 laps to go. Zane Smith's up there in the mix. Chase Elliott's running 6 with like 4 laps to go. Picks his way up through there and then put in one of the all-time setups that you're ever going to see. A masterclass setup on a drafting track. Sets it up the lap before, gets that run down the front stretch, and as soon as he gets to the corner, he dives underneath Brad, clears him, and that was that.
That was the
It was-
rest.
Perfect.
Yeah, we talked about it right after the race that we both felt like that was the old Chase back, right? Like pre-injury Chase.
Had some
That's
confidence.
what it felt like. Yeah, he had the confidence and honestly, it's scary. That's scary.
So they have speed, right? Like they have the best average finish. in
Yeah,
the
it's
Cup
Hendrick.
Series this year. It's just
Yeah.
he doesn't lead laps, and that's the downside. He needs to on like it's the Jimmy Johnson thing we talk about sometimes, right? He puts himself in position enough. He's eventually going to start winning more
Yeah.
races. Like he'll be there to capitalize. He's just got to get to that point. But for him, one thing I was really happy to see from Chase after the race is he got out and he was excited.
Yeah.
And we don't see Chase Elliott excited like that very often. And I don't know
No.
if it's everybody harping on him for seemingly being uninterested all the time, or if he was like
Having
genuinely
no emotion.
pumped. Yeah, because he had way more emotion than he typically does. He
Yeah.
like was yelling at the crowd, like hyping it up, like he yelled on the radio after they won, like
Yeah.
very unchase Elliott like things, which is good to see because if you're going to be NASCAR's most popular driver, granted he never went out there and asked for it, but it's good to have a guy that has a personality, has emotion, stuff like that, isn't a robot.
100%. No, I mean, we definitely need him to be that guy, right? Like, I mean, there's more Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson fans than I think anybody else out there, right?
Easily,
So I
hands
mean,
down.
we're especially at that track, right? I
Home
mean,
track.
it's his home track. I grew up there, lived there while I was in Atlanta the last time he won when he won the championship, right? Like I was still living there. There's a ton of Chase Elliott fans there.
Yeah,
Ton.
which I like when you have like dedicated fan bases and like hometown tracks where like it's like not college football, but you know, there's
Yeah.
a representation, a large representation that's there for one person, and it creates a pretty good atmosphere because the pop he got when he got out of the car after the race and doing his burnout was unlike anything else we've heard this year outside of a fight happening.
Yeah. 100%.
Speaking of fights, there was a Bowman Gray fight this weekend. I don't know if you saw the highlights of that.
I didn't. I'll have to go look at that.
It was
I had a buddy who was there, and he didn't even tell me about that.
peak Bowman Gray in the late models or super lates. I don't know which class it was.
You
It
know,
involved a guy running
that's
across
the-
the track. He tried to rip the hood off another car with his hands. Yeah.
Peak Bowman Gray.
Bowman Gray.
That's the
yes.
one thing. I lived in Charlotte for 3 years and didn't go to Bowman Gray, and I regret it. I never had time. Every time they were racing, I was gone. Right?
So-
I never had time to go.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I was down in Greensboro last spring for some TV stuff, and we went. It was my first time going to Bowman Gray. My girlfriend's first time ever going to a racetrack was Bowman Gray Stadium, and
Really?
yeah, it was an experience. People were throwing biscuits out on the track, and she was like, "Is this what happens at
Is this
races?" I'm like,
normal?
this only happens at Bowman Gray.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's
We're
a
not
fun
pulling
place
an
to
Ole
go.
Miss and throwing mustard on the field.
Yeah. Lane Kiffin, is that what
Yeah.
that is? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I thought. I'm hoping I might get down to Bowman Gray again this year. I'm trying to maybe work something together with a driver, maybe put a sponsor on the side of a car for a night, which could be fun. Not in the modifieds, maybe late models or street stock, something along those
Yeah.
lines. But if it happens, I got to go to it, obviously.
Obviously, if you're on the car, you got to.
Yeah. If there's a fight, like I got to be there to be a part of it. Like that's the whole point.
I want to see that.
My lanky ass running across the football field. I got a great mile time. I'm a fast mile runner, so
Yeah. I mean,
Needless
you're
to say-
all of 100 pounds soaking wet. You better have a good mile time.
187 pounds. I actually weighed myself this weekend.
Gosh. I was 187 pounds in 5th grade.
I know. It's just that tall, lanky build.
Yeah. I'm tall, but I'm not lanky.
You're not lanky. No, you snap me in half. So Chase Elliott wins the race. Like we said, great win for him. Locks himself into the playoffs. From a point standpoint, actually worked out really well for everybody on the bubble because he
Yeah.
was like third in points or fourth in points.
Yeah, he
at
was
that
going to
point.
take a spot. If we don't get 16 wins, he's taking the spot no matter what.
Right. So technically, it like took away a potential win spot, but like in terms of moving that line, it didn't affect it
Didn't move the line, yeah.
at all, which is best case scenario for everybody else. But I think we have to talk about the cutoff line real quick. So let me pull this up here.
I got it pulled up.
Do you? All right. Perfect. Well, I thought I
It's
did.
Reddick at plus 128,
Yeah.
Busher at plus 52, Bowman at plus 39, and then Bubba at plus 23.
Yeah. So Bubba can't afford to have somebody win a race
No.
other than himself. In terms of pointing your way in, let's just hypothetically look at that. I think that Eric Jones still has a chance to point his way in. A
You think
long
Eric
shot
Jones
chance.
does?
A long shot chance. He's going to need to start getting stage points. That's really what it comes down to.
How many races
But
do we have left? 5?
no, we have that was race 18.
So we
So
have
we
what,
have
9?
seven.
7?
Yeah. 7? Yeah.
7. I think you're right. I think it is 7.
We're both sitting here trying to do math in our heads.
Math is hard. It's Monday. Friday's the 4th.
Yeah, 7.
I'm thinking
Seven.
about that.
I know, same. I'm thinking about getting to Chicago. But yeah, I think that I think Allmendinger's in a must win and Hocevar's in a must win
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
Reese can still point his way in. Eric Jones, long shot pointing his way in, but I think it can be done.
Yeah, I think the AJ and Carson are definitely win to get in.
Yeah. Reddick is safe, barring 4 winners. But yeah, it's all going to change, right? We have 2 road courses coming up.
This whole thing is going to change.
2 road courses going to maybe throw a wrench into this, especially if Allmendinger steals one of those. All right. And then
Or
you still have
just a
Daytona.
random driver, right?
Yeah.
Like we still have Daytona.
Yeah. I was going to say, we still have Daytona, which is going to be potentially another Harrison Burton Hail Mary walk-off type of situation. So, yeah, points are going to be tight, and everybody is going to be talking about it.
Yep.
I don't know if it's worth talking about the bracket real quick, but
it's everyone's is
trash.
busted.
Gone. Doesn't matter anymore. The 32. Yeah, the 32 seed and Ty Dillon has advanced. The 31 seed and Noah Gregson advanced. So our matchups Our matchups now for this week include Ty Dillon versus Brad Keselowski, which I think we have to give to Brad because Ty Dillon isn't known as a road racer. Bowman versus Bubba Wallace, defending race winner at Chicago. Also ran well at Chicago with Bubba, so
that'd be a good matchup.
Nemechek versus Elliott. I think we give it to Elliott. But Nemechek's running well. I'll give him that.
He is.
Jones versus Stenhouse. Neither of those guys are known road course guys. So that's a pick 'em in my book.
Yeah, Recky Spinhouse will wreck, and then Eric Jones will just somehow make a top 15, not do anything, and move on.
Busher versus Zane Smith. Busher is my pick there. The most interesting matchup for this weekend is AJ Allmendinger versus Ty Gibbs.
That's a great matchup.
Expect both of those guys to be in the top 5.
Yeah, 100%.
And then you have Hocevar versus Reddick. I think you have to give that to Reddick because he finished second here last year in Chicago. And then Noah Gregson versus Ryan Preece. All right. Somebody's winning $1 million out of this at Indy.
And two more races. 2 more races after this.
Yeah.
No, 3 more races.
Yeah, you have Chicago, Sonoma, Dover, and then Indy, the championship round. And right now, Chase Elliott was my pick, and I think he's probably the one sitting best. He's got to beat John Hunter Nemechek this weekend, and then next week at Sonoma, he has to beat Eric Jones or Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Yeah.
That's easy. Then he goes on to Dover, and he'll probably have to beat, Alex Bowman.
Yeah.
If Alex Bowman wins $1 million, does that take the heat off of his...
No.
See, I know. No. You don't think Alex Bowman's representation walks into Hendrick and they're like, "We are the winners of the inaugural in-season challenge," and they're like, "Okay, great. How many races?"
Jeff Gordon goes, and are you in the playoffs?
Yes. Well, technically, yes.
Right now.
Yeah. Until he wins, which he has one at Chicago, he has one at Dover.
Yeah, he has.
Just saying.
He has.
All right, moving on. 4 to go. The NASCAR Xfinity Series Marathon from Atlanta on Friday night. Didn't end until 12:30 a.m. Coverage started, 7?
7, yeah.
It was a 5.5-hour ordeal, which technically the race time was only 2 hours and 36 minutes, not accounting for the red flags that were in there.
I didn't tell you what my buddy had to do, did I?
No.
So, my buddy, the people that I pitted with this past season,
Yeah.
drove down,
Oh no.
and then
Had to drive
drove
home.
back after the race. He didn't get to his house until about 6 a.m.
Till the sun was coming up. Yes.
Yeah, I've
I don't know
done
if
that
people.
before. I've done that before. My very first weekend was obviously Daytona. We I got up at 3 a.m., drove to pick up the rental car, drove from Mooresville, North Carolina to Daytona, did the Xfinity race or the truck race Friday night, right? Didn't get done with the truck race until about 1 a.m.
Yeah.
because it was a late, long race. There was a bunch of crashes and stuff like that. And then had to wake up at 8 a.m. the next morning for the Xfinity race during the day,
Yep.
right? And then turn around and drove back. And I drove the whole way back after the Xfinity race. So in a 48-hour time span, I had 4 or 5 hours of sleep.
No, thank you. So last season we stupidly did 2 post-race drives home. One from Charlotte after the Roval, which that's like a 7.5 hour drive.
That's a long drive for you.
It's a long drive.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it'll be fine. And then we were like in West Virginia in the middle of the night, and I was like, this sucks. Yeah. The only good thing about West Virginia is it got a lot of turns, so it kind
Yeah,
of keeps
so
me
you
awake.
have to like kind of be in it.
The other one was the Martinsville playoff race. We drove home after that one too.
Oh, did you?
That was dumb. Never again will I do
Yeah.
that one.
I did Bristol. I did this fall Bristol night race. Drove back to Atlanta one year. The 6 hours
What is that,
from
6?
Bristol
Yeah, I was gonna say like 5 or
back
6.
to
Yeah.
Atlanta after the night race. That race didn't
Oh.
end until midnight.
Yeah, I mean, that's the latest ending race. So the Xfinity race on Friday night, new winner, first time winner in that, Nick Sanchez,
Yeah.
shocked everybody, picks up the win, second win ever.
Great for him.
Yes, great for him. Second ever win for Big Machine Records. Technically, an RCR car did not win. An RCR badged car did not win. That 48 car is an RCR car. We are all very aware of that one. But in terms of Jesse Love or Austin Hill winning, they didn't win. Which,
Okay. Yeah. But
but the 48 might as well just be that third.
it's an
48
ECR. It's an ECR car, right? Like it's not an RCR car. It's an ECR car.
Yeah, it's not. It's not technically the 21 Wood Brothers car at Penske, but it's like the next closest thing.
Which
that you
is
can think
funny because you know who pits it?
of. Wait, do they?
No, Hendrick pits it.
Yeah, okay, that's right. When you said that, I was like, wait a second. I thought you were going to say that the Penske guys pitted. I was like, I thought the Hendrick guys.
No,
pitted
Hendrick
it. Yeah.
pits it, but it's basically an RCR
Yeah,
car.
that's odd. Whatever. He wins the race. Great for him. Great result. Obviously, he's a multi-time Truck Series winner. This is his first full-time year. Still feel bad for Parker not getting that win at the Roval last year because he deserved that.
Yeah.
But at least those guys get to celebrate now, whether any of them are still the same guys or not. Not sure.
A lot of them are.
Yeah. So stage number 1, Austin Hill seemingly looked like he had just checked up in the middle of the corner. Eric almost ran over him. Had fuel issues, and as much as it sucks for the 21, when it happened, I was like, hey, this opens up the entire race now.
Yeah.
Because it's a tip of the. I'm not mad that he's good. They're that good. So when they get taken out, it's like, oh, okay, like something else is going to happen now because they're so dominant.
Yeah, I texted you during stage 2, and like right after the red flag was over, and I said, "Okay, let's see." I was honestly, I was one of the ones where I wanted to see him get all of his laps back and come back and win the race.
You texted me and you're like, 21's not out of this yet, and I was like, isn't he like 5 laps down?
He was 6th.
6, yeah. I think he ended the race like 5 or 4 laps.
I think he got screwed when there was a couple wrecks and other people got a lap down, right? Like that screwed him. But I mean, if it was clean like we thought it was gonna be, all right. Speaking of, I was really surprised. Like we got some single car or one train going around, but there really wasn't as much as there has been in the past with that car.
I'll say for the Xfinity Series, because they don't run the full Super Speedway package in
Correct.
Atlanta, it raced the best that we've seen them race there,
Yeah.
probably since year one, maybe. Because that
Yeah.
first year that they did it, I think Ty Gibbs ended up winning that one.
I
That
think,
wasn't the worst race that
you're
we've
right.
ever seen. Yeah.
No.
But this year, Hill goes out, and then Jesse Love crashes, which is a big incident where it wasn't his fault. It was more of a racing incident
Yeah.
than anything else. Mayer kind of, faded up to block that run. The two just had a huge run, and then like it was nobody's fault. If like you were
It
gonna
was
be
just
like,
weird
yeah, it was a really
more than
odd,
anything.
an odd wreck because, like I said, it wasn't this dramatic like, oh, he hit him, that type of thing.
Yeah.
It was like, it was kind of just three things happened at once and somebody
It,
wrecked.
it was a combination of Jesse Love was trying to take it, and Sam Mayer threw a late block
Yeah,
and caused a
and
wreck.
it wasn't the most egregious thing either.
No.
But Jesse ends up spinning out, slides down, hits the inside wall, and I was like, oh, both RCR cars are out now. This really opens up the field. And guess what? Jesse Love sat up like the Undertaker in the GIF, and he came right back with a vengeance and put himself in position to win this race at the end. And the field finally realized, oh, we can bail on these guys. We don't have,
Yeah.
if we work together, we don't have to race with them. And that's exactly what they did because the top five, dove underneath him, and Jesse Love fell back, and nobody was willing to push him back up there again, which left us with Nick Sanchez leading, Carson Kvapil in second, and with 2 laps to go, Carson Kvapil had a gigantic run down the backstretch.
And didn't take it.
Didn't take it, but also Sanchez did a great job on making sure the 8 car didn't know, or not the 8, the 1 car
one.
didn't know where he was going.
Yeah.
Because the 1 checked up, and he probably could have made that gap on the bottom if he stuck with it. But
Yeah. If he would have
Yeah.
just sent it, he probably could have made it.
yeah, and I think that's what his dad, Travis Kvapil, was telling him after the race, where he like was talking to him and just patted him on the chest and walked away. And it's like, coulda, shoulda, that type of thing. But overall, solid Xfinity Series race.
Yeah, I mean both of the races in Atlanta were pretty good. We got some good action on Friday night, and we got some good action on Saturday night with both races. I think definitely the RCR cars deciding or figuring out that they were going to get kicked out, right? And the field deciding that, oh, we're not going to push this guy, definitely helped. And then, yeah, it was a good race. It was definitely one of those where I was sitting there watching the race, and I was like, okay, it's time to go to bed.
Yeah. It was late because I was like, oh, I'll do a race recap afterwards, and then I was like, I'm not gonna do
No.
this afterwards. I did it after on Saturday night. Got back up at 5:30. Finished recording at 1 o'clock in the morning. Back up at 5:30 so I could head to Norwalk for the NHRA race.
Yeah, when you texted me and said that you were up in northern Ohio, I was like, you're insane.
Yeah. Still not the worst. I got off a red eye one time from California, got in a car, drove to Mid-Ohio for the IndyCar race, hadn't slept in 24 hours. That was dumb. Thankfully, I wasn't driving. But
Sounds
there's
like
no...
fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Nobody in the top 10 really was like that surprising from the Xfinity Series race.
No,
Yeah, Sam Mayer third.
other
Zilch
than
fourth.
who won.
Yeah, the
but-
winner was probably the weirdest, or not weirdest, but like most unexpected.
Yeah.
Kyle Sieg, I expect the Siegs to be in the back half of the top 10 in races, especially weird ones
Yeah.
like this. Daniel Dye had a rebound after getting his bumper ripped off. He finishes 8th.
That was insane how that whole thing. It literally, he just clipped it.
Just clipped
he
it.
kept driving straight. He didn't even bobble at all.
That
I was like, what the heck
same
just
thing.
happened?
I saw it because it was like they weren't focused on that when it happened. They were focused on the, I don't actually remember who hit him coming across the racetrack.
Yeah.
And I saw it for a split second. I was like, oh man, that ripped the bumper.
Was that was Jesse's wreck?
Oh, was it?
I think it was.
I think you're right.
I think it was
And-
Jesse's wreck.
When they showed the damage, I was like, he barely got hit, and it still
Yeah.
ripped the whole thing off. I don't know if you saw the post-race interaction between he and Austin Hill. It made me
Oh
laugh.
yeah.
Yeah. Austin Hill is just yapping, and Daniel just like turned around and grabbed his water bottle and was like, I don't know what you want me to say, dude. Like,
Yeah. Like.
and I guess
what
Austin
are
Hill
you
was mad that he flipped him off, which
Yeah.
I know drivers get really mad about getting flipped off. Personally, getting flipped off does not bother me at all.
No.
I flip people off all the time in traffic. Like,
When someone flips me off in traffic, I literally wave and
yeah,
smile.
I'm sorry.
That pisses them off more.
What I do to people like in stopping like in traffic a lot more, I give them a thumbs down because it just feels more personal. Like you're doing a terrible job. Like I'm just disappointed in you as a person.
Especially up there in Cincinnati where the roads are awful.
It's just dumb.
It's just dumb.
The layout of our highway, especially 75. 71 is actually like a perfect highway. I love 71. 75 is the worst. The worst part about it is there's two parts on 75 South. Not that anybody cares about this, but if you're local to Cincinnati, you understand. When you get to Laughlin, it goes from 4 lanes and the high-speed lane merges down to 3. Really stupid. So that causes a bottleneck. And guess what? When you get down to the city, about a mile and a half before you get to the bridge to cross the river, again, we go from 4 lanes down to 3. And the
I thought
high-speed
it goes
lane,
down to 2. Is it down to 3?
it goes down to 3. If you want to go over
Or
the
is it-
bridge, eventually it goes 2 lanes go over the bridge and the other 2 go to downtown.
Yeah.
But yeah, stop making high-speed lanes merge into the right lane. It's dumb. All right, that's my rant.
I'll never forget the first time I was driving up in Cincinnati. I was over there by the stadiums, and
Yeah.
I was trying to get onto 75 South to go back to Lexington area.
Yeah.
And I'm driving in the right lane, and the right lane turns into 3 lanes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know where the hell to go.
They finally have gotten better and started marking it actually on the road. So you go
Yeah.
like, you're in this lane, you're headed this direction. Like, all right,
Yeah.
sick.
You're like, what are we doing? I'm
It's-
in one lane that can go in 3 separate lanes to 3 separate areas, and it's not like it's labeled.
It's not labeled.
Because
And
someone in the comments is gonna say, "Hey, look at the street signs. There are none."
One of the exits, like you can either go across the Brent Spence to Kentucky, or you can continue on, and you can either go to US 50, or you can get off at 2nd Street. Is it labeled? It is labeled back before you get to the point where you need to make your decision, and then you're like, "Dang it, which way am I supposed to go now?"
Where do I go?
It's yeah, we dropped the ball in that situation a lot of times, but
Anyway,
we got some of the best ultimate drivers in the world. I'll give them that. These boys are scooting
yeah.
down the road. All right.
Oh, I believe-
I think that's all I had for the Xfinity Series race
yeah.
as well. We can talk about 3 to go. Truck Series at Lime Rock. I don't know if you watched it.
I watched parts of it.
Okay. I watched all 100 laps, and it was a waste of my entire day.
Yeah.
Because Corey Heim, first off, maybe we need to make a rule that the leader has to cross the start-finish line first on a restart. Just because he deserved to get a perfect race, and it gets taken away from him because the 34 of Lane Riggs was able to hook up better and passed him on the restart, and then got promptly passed in turn 1 by Heim again. But he was credited with leading the lap. And then we went from having
Which,
0
come
lead.
on now.
I know.
He led all 100 laps.
He led all
Let's be
laps.
real here.
So then we went from having 0 lead changes to technically 2 lead changes on the day. It just wasn't a good race. And Lime Rock we all grew up playing Lime Rock on video games. I think we all have driven Lime
Yeah.
Rock a bunch of times. If you've done iRacing, guess what? You probably have turned thousands of laps at Lime Rock. It's a fun little racetrack.
Yeah.
It's not a great racetrack for stock cars.
I would love to see the Xfinity car on it.
So I don't know if we can put any of the cars on it just because there's no really heavy braking zone that creates a passing zone.
Yeah.
Like turn 1 is a braking zone, but it's a sweeper. It's not like
Yeah.
it's not a tight corner. And I don't know if so turn 5 is that right-hander that goes up the hill onto like the backstretch area.
It makes the hop.
Yes. Which was a really cool visual. I'll give them that.
Great
But
visual.
before you get to that corner is a chicane, which would create a heavy braking zone into there. But you're also talking about a pretty narrow part of the track, and that encourages people to run into one another.
Yeah. Yeah,
Which-
I do think it would be interesting to see either the Cup or the Xfinity cars on it just to see. But
a
not
Cup
a
right there.
points race for sure.
No.
Right? like an exposition, just shits and giggles type of race.
Guess what? The All-Star race is now at Lime Rock Park in the daylight.
I did like the fact that when we talked last week, we were like, we don't think that place could be able to handle as many people that are coming.
Yeah.
I did like the fact that they open up the fields. You can sit anywhere. Like,
So-
that was really cool.
I didn't know there's no grandstands on the property.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah, so 20,000 people just sitting in the grass.
Yeah, which is awesome, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's
Very old
a
school feel.
yeah, it's a June day in Connecticut. I mean, it's probably what, a whole 80 degrees up there, maybe.
Probably, yeah.
Right? Like,
I don't know. Maybe this heat wave has made its way to Connecticut too.
oh wait, they're probably thinking they're like England and 65 degrees is hot.
My favorite headlines every year are when they're like talking about the heat wave in England, and then you look at it and it's like, that's 80 degrees. Buddy, it's been 95 degrees with 100% humidity every single day here.
Yeah.
I walk out of my house, I get punched in the face every single day. It's awful.
I saw a TikTok of a girl saying there's nothing worse than a heat wave in England, and it was like 68 degrees Fahrenheit.
I'll fight.
And I was like,
No.
that's not a heat wave. That's a
not a heat
cool fall day.
I looked at houses in the San Francisco Bay Area last week because the high temperature was only 61 degrees. And I was like, hey, guess what? Girlfriend, we're moving to the Bay Area. I don't care if it's expensive. It's never going to get above 70 degrees.
See, give me 75 to 80 with a light breeze, sun in the sky with a couple clouds. That's perfect weather
Yeah.
for me.
Oh, I don't disagree. It's the humidity.
See, the humidity doesn't bother me.
Really?
I'm from Georgia.
Yeah, valid point.
I've literally had 105 degrees with 98% humidity before.
This is my entire life. I was raised in this.
Literally.
Every summer, I'm just reminded of how much I hate summers here. And then I own a historic house, which was built pre-HVAC. So it has air conditioning throughout the whole house, but the upstairs could...
Gets hot.
Yeah, just because it's old. And I have a slate roof, so
Yeah.
we just bake. Back to Lime Rock, though.
This is the point where people go, get back to racing.
I think, based off of some messages that I got, it sounds like they're planning on going back next year. And if they do, fine. We'll give it a second-year trial. But at the same time, like, you have Stafford Speedway right there in Connecticut as well. Mm-hmm. They put a ton of money in that facility. They want a Truck Series date. Let's try it out. Like,
yeah.
Just give it a go.
I think it's going to be one of those things where we do 2 years here because they're not just going to do 1 year at a place, right?
Yeah. Get
They'll,
the Road America treatment.
Yeah. They'll do 2 years there and then probably Stafford in 2027, right? That's what I'm thinking they're going to do. But who knows?
I'm cool with that.
And who knows? Next year it might be a better race because if you look at the race outside of Corey Heim, it was a decent race. I mean, everyone's battling for second anyway. So let's get rid of the person who's winning who's going first, and let's see how that race goes.
Quick shout out from the top 10. One, Gio Ruggiero, P3, great finish for him.
He's sneaky had some good
Quietly
weeks the past
good,
couple weeks.
I still don't think a lot of people know like him from short track racing, but like he was really good on short tracks and super late models. Mm-hmm. I think he's finally figuring it out here on the cup or the truck side of things. Yeah. Cam Waters, Aussie supercar driver, came over to run this race with ThorSport, got a top 5 out of it. Yeah. Great run for him on a track that he's never seen before in his entire life. And then Balicki, P7 finish.
Okay, well, I love Josh.
Yeah, he got aided.
He got lucky. There was that light wreck that took out like 4 or 5 guys, right? And
basically, all of Spire got taken out in that.
Essentially,
wreck.
right?
Yeah.
And so that brought him up a couple things, but yeah, technically a top 10.
Technically a top 10. Yeah, because if that doesn't happen,
he was like 12.
Jordan Taylor ends up finishing what, P3 probably.
I think it was like P5, P6.
Yeah, he would have been in the top 5-ish area.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a race. It was certainly that.
Yeah.
Moving on, 2 to go.
It was a follow the leader. It wasn't a race.
Yeah, for the most part. And it was a Fox race too. So 2 to go. TNT's first race back with the NASCAR Cup Series since 2014. How do you think they did?
Okay.
I gave it a B plus, I think, on my
I'd
video.
give it a B plus. I mean,
Yeah.
there were some things like I texted you and I even tweeted it out on our Twitter of the apparently there's a new driver in the 38 car.
Oh yeah.
Because Cole Custer was put it on there as being in the 38 car, so that's very Fox-ish. Um,
Oh, you know.
you know, but like there were no cartoons. We're
That's a big one.
with channels or like media, we're gonna have more commercials than we would with like Amazon Prime or anything like that. So I mean, we knew that was coming.
Yeah.
But I liked how we had a post race and a pre race. I didn't watch most of the post race. I watched a little bit of it, but then passed out. But I think it was they did a good job, right? The booth definitely has some good
Chemistry.
yeah, that word.
Yeah.
Has some good chemistry, right? I mean, they've been doing it for the past 5 weeks. It's essentially the same booth, right?
I
So,
think that helped out a ton. Yeah.
oh yeah, helps out a ton.
The only thing that I didn't care for, obviously, we knew the commercials are going to be different than Prime, and we got spoiled on Prime. We all know that. I thought the graphics were good. I saw some old people complaining about how small the font was, which I didn't have an issue with it, but I don't know. Put readers on, I guess, or
Closed captions.
yeah, big TV. I'm not sure.
I mean, gotta do
The
what you
only
gotta do at some point, right?
yeah, just imagine these old people just standing right there.
Like right here.
Yeah. Mounted way too high up on the wall, which that would drive me insane every time. The other thing I didn't like was drones are cool, but every time we go to a drone, there's a drop in quality every time in picture quality versus like a helicopter. And granted, a drone is much cheaper to operate than a helicopter. I completely understand that aspect of it. But it just always goes from being like, okay, this is a good picture to, oh, this is now being shot on like a flip camera from 2008. It's just bad, and they're not going to listen to me. But maybe it looked better if we streamed it. So maybe this weekend, well, not this weekend. Maybe in Sonoma, I'll stream it on Max and see what it looks like. See if the
Does
pictures
it go better when it's streamed like that?
Yeah. Because it's not being put through a coax cable and like broadcasted out. It's direct to consumer essentially.
I mean, that's weird. Okay.
If you watch a Fox race on the Fox app, it looks better than.
See, I watch all my stuff on YouTube.
On YouTube TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same here. It'll look better on that as well, like from the Fox app. So, yeah, it's just unfortunate reality of cable. It can only go so far.
Yeah.
With it, we need to run fiber into everybody's household.
That'd only be easy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, right. We have internet, fiber internet. Let's just do it again.
We don't. I don't even have that.
Oh, dang, that's a bummer.
Small town, baby. I told you earlier. I got about five lights in my town.
To get to the highway, I got to go through 5 lights.
I mean, I got to go through more to get to the highway, but in my town, I have about 5, maybe 7 lights.
All right, last lap, question time. And honestly, it's one that I just posted a TikTok on Monday night. Mm-hmm. Should Atlanta become the 4th of July race?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the easiest win NASCAR could make scheduling.
Yeah. They need to bring back the 4th of July night race, fireworks after it on a Saturday, right? Like that whole thing. I wish it was back at Daytona. It's not going to be. No. But that definitely needs that nostalgia of the Friday night or the Saturday night race at a round race, right? Like with the fireworks and all that. Yeah,
100% agree. There's just something about a drafting track race on 4th of July weekend that feels right. And putting it in Atlanta. So obviously everybody keeps saying put it in Daytona. Daytona doesn't care if it's there or not because they said that they don't see any sort of uptick in hotel bookings or tourism than if it was there. So like when it left, they're like, oh, everything stayed the same. But having it in August does increase because it gives them another like weekend to have everything out there.
Yeah.
That's always going to stay at its date as the regular season finale. But I think Atlanta would be a really fun 4th of July race. And I think, hear me out on this one, if it schedule stays the same for next year in terms of like race breakdown, it would give TNT and that in season challenge a week to breathe first. So you wouldn't have this whole chaotic, like every big name driver gets knocked out of it type of thing. So you would at least get to the second round of having your big name drivers compete. Now they all could get knocked out for sure, but or half of them could get knocked out. But it wouldn't
Yeah.
be like what we have now, where like Chase Elliott and Tyler Reddick are the two big names really left in it.
Left. Yeah. We didn't talk about this with TNT. I saw a video of a guy who got stuck on the TBS broadcast of it and was pissed because he was like,
the
I
True
don't
TV
want to.
one.
Yeah, or the True TV
Yeah.
one. He was like, I don't want to see these two old people talking. I want to see the full screen of the race. And it was
just got
like a
stuck
TikTok. And I was like, oh, dude.
He just got
Oh,
stuck listening to who was that? Burton and
No, it was Larry
Larry
Mack.
Mack.
And,
Jeff Burton, right?
Jeff Burton. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, poor guy. But yeah, I think we should go to Atlanta on 4th of July. I think that would just be the fun thing to do for
Yeah,
that.
it would be amazing, right? Like
Yeah.
you get the fireworks after the race. Atlanta does wonderful things for the 4th of July, right? So I mean, you get to go and you can spend time outside of the city limits of Atlanta, unless you want to go into the city limits of Atlanta, and then I'm sorry, but. Yeah, I mean, there's tons of things to do there, and I think it'd be awesome for it.
I agree. I think that's one easy win that they should have because it doesn't sound like they're good. Based on what Dale Jr. said, it sounds like that San Diego potential street race is going to be during the prime portion of the schedule, kind of what he said on his
that'd be the
podcast last
5
week.
weeks.
Yeah, so it would be earlier in the season, so that kind of frees up the 4th of July area around it. So, yeah, I think that's where we should go. Do you got anything for this week?
I do.
Oh, let's hear it.
So with this win, is Chase the hottest driver right now?
No.
No.
I only say that because I need to see him. I need to see him perform, or at least close out races on an intermediate or another track. Like he was in contention to win Kansas, and unfortunately had a pit stop problem that took him out of that. But it's not that I don't think Chase can get it done. I want to see the whole team put together a race
Do it. Right.
on a non-drafting track.
Okay.
And if they
I get
can,
that.
then yeah. But because right now Larson's seemingly struggling, hasn't
Yeah.
led a lap in 5 races. Everybody's freaking out. Chase has momentum. He's second in the points now too, so he's very much in contention for a regular season championship, which that's going to put Elliott fans into like this real conflict of like we hate Alan Gustafson. We won the regular season championship and a race. We still want him fired though.
But we still want him fired. That's the ultimate
Yeah.
Ohio State fans, right?
Yes, the walk-on fans.
wanted Ryan Day fired and then win a national championship.
Oh, they still want him fired. Guess what? He loses to Michigan again this year. They're gonna be like, we got to fire him.
Yeah, 100%.
Do it.
Next one is, who do you think are the final 4 drivers in the playoffs?
I'm still going to stick with Kyle Larson for right now.
No. The final 4 that make the playoffs.
Oh, that are like the last 4 in.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. So Tyler Reddick, I think he'll either point his way in or win. I'm not too concerned about that happening there. Chris Buescher, he will point his way in because I don't think we get to 16. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is going to win a race, Daytona. Yeah. And then I think Alex Bowman finds a way in, whether it's from a win or a points.
I think we get 17 winners.
Holy, who? Where? From where?
I think we get 16 or 17 winners, and I think it's going to be because they said the stat of we've had 9 different winners over the last 9 races.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, right. I don't think it stops this week. I think we get 10 for 10.
Oh, I think it stops this week.
I don't. I don't.
You think it's Ty?
Don't. No.
Not
I
even
think
with
it's Reddick.
Gabehart? Oh,
I think
okay,
it's
that's
Reddick.
fair. That's fair. That's fair.
I think it's Reddick this week. I think it's Ty next week.
That's Sonoma?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I think it's where are we at? Dover after that?
Yeah.
I think
Bowman.
I could see Bowman bringing it out at Dover, and then we're at Indy, and give me Kyle Busch.
Oof. I was with you until Kyle Busch at Indy.
And then we have Richmond.
Yeah,
Give me
so
Kyle
Austin
Busch.
Dillon. Yeah.
Give me Kyle Busch, right?
Kyle
Like
Busch with his setup sheet.
right? Like I think there's a very now I think we'll get a couple more winners
More
who have
repeats,
already
yeah.
won, right? Like I'm not saying there's going to be a new winner for the next 7 races, but I
Yeah.
think we very easily get to 16, 17 winners.
I can see it.
And I think that's going to be the worst thing for NASCAR.
Too much parity.
No. Going into Daytona with basically
Oh,
your playoff set.
yeah. Hey, that's why we can't have a full regular season points championship, right? Because somebody might win it before we get to home.
I mean, we've talked about this in the past. I think it should be you have the top 16 drivers, right? Like the top 16 drivers go, and those who are your playoff drivers.
Yeah. No, I don't
I
disagree.
think that's how it should be. Last question. I saw a Twitter talk about this and didn't even think about it I've realized it but didn't think about it until I saw this. Are you a fan of the front stretch interviews, or do you want the victory lane interviews back?
Give me Victory Lane interviews back every single time. I understand the front stretch
Why?
interview because it's good for the fans there, but from one, a nostalgia standpoint, and two, from a driver emotion standpoint, because it kind of like mutes Victory Lane celebration. Because the guy's already gotten out of his car at one point. He's already celebrated with the team most of the time because they run out on the front stretch. So by the time they get to Victory Lane, it's just him getting out, opening up a bottle, throwing it around, and that's it. But it doesn't seem like there's that emotion. Remember when we were younger and like Victory Lane is where they did the interviews. They'd get out and they're throwing beers around and celebrating, jumping on top of the crew and everything like that. You don't see that anymore, and it's kind of a
No,
bummer.
you don't. No, you don't. I like it for the fans that are there,
Yeah,
but as a pure emotion, I think the victory lanes need to come back.
100%. No,
That
I
and
completely
like
agree there.
let's just get people off the race track. Like, what are we doing?
So many people on the racetrack. All right, so we
On
have
the racetrack.
this weekend. We have Cup and Xfinity in Chicago. Trucks are off for
Off
like a month.
3 weeks. Yeah,
3 weeks.
4
Yeah,
weeks.
because they're not back until IRP towards the end of July. Only 10 races left in the Truck Series season, which is wild. Yeah, and Corey Heim has 5 wins in 15 races. He's got He's got a third of Matt Crafton's entire career wins in 10 or 15 races.
That's insane.
I know. That's my favorite thing to keep going back to.
That's insane.
All right, for the Xfinity Series race on Saturday at Chicago, who's your pick? Keep in mind, Shane Van Gisbergen's in the 9.
And Zilich is in the 88.
Yes. No, yes. And they're both running Red Bull paint schemes.
Red Bull paint schemes.
Yes.
Give me.
Take him. Take him.
I want Zilich. I want Zilich.
I think that we're getting a. There's also going to be an Australian supercar driver in the 19 for Gibbs, but he's not going to be a factor.
Is anyone else?
No. So I thought we were going to get a Colleague Xfinity car with Brock Feeney, another Australian supercar driver, but it sounds like that did not materialize, which is a bummer.
I thought they were going to do something here, weren't they?
They are in the Cup Series. They got Will Brown in the 13.
Oh, okay. That's what it is. It's Will Brown in the Cup
Yeah.
Series. That's right.
But yeah, I think that we get a Shane Van Gisbergen weekend sweep this weekend.
No.
I think one, he's got the Xfinity car at Chicago. He's really strong in that. Granted,
Yes.
he's gonna have to deal with Zilich, but we just saw that car win in Mexico with Suarez, so we know it's got
Suarez.
speed.
Yeah.
On the
And
Cup
a
side of
backup car.
things, yeah, on the Cup side of things, I still think that he's the best road course driver out there. Everything has to come together for him the same way it did in Mexico. But I think if he qualifies well, he's going to be all right. It all comes down to qualifying, I think.
I think we're going to get desperate people.
Des- Desperate measures are going to happen here.
And what's the weather look like?
Hot.
You're going, so what's the
I
weather
am
look
going.
like?
I actually haven't looked in the last couple of days because I'm so scarred that it's going to rain again. I'm going to get caught in a downpour.
It's your fault. We've had this conversation. Every time you go, it rains.
It really does. Daytona 500 this year, rain.
Rain.
Indy 500 this year, rain.
Just stop for all of us. Just
And last year, too.
Yes.
Last year, I went to Daytona 500 and Indy 500, rained in both of those.
Yeah.
And Chicago. But I did make it to other races that didn't rain at. Hang on. I have.
Stop the madness.
Okay, so on Sunday, there's a 40% chance of rain. Dang it.
It's gonna be your 40% too.
I even said, I was like, I'm going to leave the rain jacket at home. I'm not going to take it.
You
Oh,
better.
man. Saturday's going to be 90 degrees.
Yeah, I might not go. I was thinking about
Good
going
news.
and
A
driving
lot
up
of trees. A lot of trees.
there. There are. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I've been thinking about going. I can still get a pass, so it's not that big of a deal.
Do it. That's what I got.
But
Got
I haven't
hooked up
decided.
again. I will say this. My hotel looks over turn 7, so worst comes to worst, I can just go back and watch from the hotel room.
I'm coming to your hotel room.
Yeah. I know somebody that booked 2 rooms along the racetrack. One of them's at the Congress, that overlooks like the Columbus Circle area right there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, worst comes to worst, we all just pile into his room. I wonder how the hotel feels about that.
Who cares?
Yeah, I don't care. We paid. Who cares?
Who cares? Now give me Zilich and give me Reddick.
Oh, yeah. We'll see.
I think Reddick is due.
Yeah,
Was
if he didn't,
there?
I was gonna say if he didn't clip the wall last year, he was gonna probably beat Bowman.
Yeah, and he was there last week, right? Like
Yep.
he was there last week. He was there a year ago. He's always going to be in contention on those road courses. That and I think he wants to secure a spot for sure.
100%. And 2311 Racing just needs a turnaround at this point because
Yeah.
they have struggled at times. I say struggled. He's sitting really, really good in the points.
Mm-hmm.
It just comes down to that race winning speed that they just haven't had yet.
Give me a Bubba top 10.
Ooh, I like that. I think that's a good pick.
Give me a Bubba top 10. Give me a Riddick win, Bubba top 10, and give me a I have one.
Josh Bilicki top 10.
Give me Josh Bilicki not to make the race.
You think Catherine Lake's going to out-qualify him?
No.
Okay, so Bilicki's in the race. Got it.
Yeah, Bilicki's in the race. Not in that 78 car.
Where...
I didn't see her on
Yeah.
there when I said that. So yeah, give me Josh to make the
Talented
race.
driver, but that car is just not going to be good on a road course. Where do you think Will Brown finishes? Australian
Top 5.
Supercars driver, top
Top 5.
5, and that third college car. Yeah, I could see that.
I think it's gonna be a Reddick, SVG, AJ, Will Brown, Michael McDowell.
All right. Do you know who signed up for this race? And I only can assume that it's because of who his sponsor is, but he took the Will Brown seat that was probably going to be his. Austin Hill is running the 33.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He did
I
it
see
last
that.
year.
Very weird.
Did he do it last year or the year before as well? He's not a road course guy.
No.
Like, not on this level. But
Did I tell you I saw someone that posted the top, like it was like the top 15 NASCAR Cup Series prospects right now, and he was like third.
he's not a prospect. He's 32
not.
years old.
Yeah, like we've had this conversation earlier in this podcast a couple weeks ago. He's not a prospect,
Not a prospect.
not at all.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Can we stop? Can we stop the madness, please, people?
before we get out of here, I went to NHRA this weekend up at Norwalk for the Summit Nationals. Super nice of NHRA. The NHRA invited me out, which was great.
That's cool.
Got to stand on the start line. If you've never been to an NHRA event before, absolutely go. So I've been to the U.S. Nationals, but sat in the grandstand.
Yeah.
Standing on the start line when Top Fuel and Funny Car both launch is, well, it shakes you to your core. Like if you're trying to like shake anything out of your body, it will vibrate you. It's violent.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
That's the one thing I wish I would have done while I was in Charlotte is gone to the 4 wide.
4 wide, yeah. I was talking to somebody and they're like, "You got to go to 4 wide next," and I was like, "I think I have to. I got to chase this."
Oh, I'm down. Let's go.
All right,
Let's go. I'm
perfect.
down.
I think it's in the fall, but
It is the week of Phoenix. Or this year, I think it's the week after Phoenix.
if it's a week after
Because
Phoenix, then I could be down. But I think I'm going to Phoenix.
It's always been the week of Phoenix, so that's why I've never been able to go.
Okay. But yeah, that was super fun. I also saw Rick Ware himself at the racetrack on Sunday. He was there. His
Really?
Clay Milken is in Top Fuel for him.
Nope. I lied.
Did you
They
see?
moved it this year.
Okay, when is it?
September 19th through the 21st.
I might actually have a wedding that weekend. It's not in my calendar though, so I'm gonna have to check with the actual calendar maker and find
Check
out.
with the boss.
Yeah,
What'd I say? September what?
19th is what you said.
Yeah, through the 21st. Go away, ally. No one cares.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but
That is New Hampshire.
it is New Hampshire weekend. I have that in my calendar. I've got the important things in my calendar, like the Truck Series schedule, but
There you go.
don't know what weddings we're going to. I know there's one in September and October. That's all I know.
Yeah.
I saw Rick Ware there. Did you see what the rumored sale price was for Rick
No.
Ware Racing? Apparently on DBC, I haven't listened to DBC yet, but apparently on there they said that the rumored sale price was $100 million.
Good for him.
Good. Rick Ware started flipping charters. That's how he got into this. Like, he has obviously been racing for a while, but when it comes to the charter thing, he started buying charters and just flipping them, either leasing them, flipping them. At one point, he was a 4-car chartered team.
Good for him.
Now he's potentially sitting back with $100 million.
Good
Rick
for
Ware-
him.
The Rick Ware Racing Empire might make their way to Formula One. Who knows at this point? The man knows no bounds.
I mean, he's in IndyCar.
In IndyCar, in NHRA, in Supercross.
Yeah, like why not? Screw it. He'll run the Cadillacs.
He buys into TWG Global with Dan Towers.
Love it.
But yeah, hey, good for him. So, all right, I'm headed to Chicago this weekend. So
I might be.
Yeah, Cameron might be. If you see either of us out at the racetrack, say hello there. We'll be back next week. I'm coming back on Monday. I'm not sure what time I'm getting back yet, so this could be a late recording because I might be making a stop somewhere.
Oh.
We'll see how all of it plays off. I'll tell you in a second.
Oh.
And then, yeah, so we'll be back next week, talk Chicago and everything that comes out of that.
Peace out.